the sound of water trickling from the marble fountain in the corner of Krystos's luxury hotel suite filled the room with a calming ambiance. He stood in front of the massive window, gazing at the glowing Cairo skyline. The distant hum of the city blended with the soft buzz of the air conditioning as he reflected on the whirlwind of his day. The ancient tombs, the cryptic guide, and the mystic whispers that seemed to follow him everywhere. The opulent suite was a stark contrast to the dusty streets he had traversed earlier. Golden accents adorned the furniture, and the bed was so large it could have easily fit 3 people. Despite the comforts around him, Krystos felt a weight pressing on his chest. Not an unpleasant one, but something deep and ancient, as if he were carrying a history that wasn't entirely his own. He sighed and ran his fingers through his dark curls, glancing at the mirror. The reflection that stared back seemed almost foreign. His androgynous face was tinged with exhaustion, and his normally sharp eyes carried an unreadable haze. After slipping into an oversized silk robe, he slid beneath the soft sheets, letting his head sink into the pillow. But sleep did not come immediately. Instead, his mind wandered. Who was that mystic in the tomb? And why had they spoken to him as though they knew him? The question haunted him as his eyes fluttered shut. Slowly, he drifted into a world that was both unfamiliar and strangely familiar, as if stepping into a memory that belonged to someone else. The dream began in silence. Krystos stood in the middle of a vast desert, the stars overhead so vivid they seemed to pulse with life. Before him, the great pyramids rose, their shadows stretching long and dark against the sand. 2 figures emerged from the night, a man and a woman, their forms shimmering like mirages in the heat. They were unlike any humans Krystos had ever seen. Their movements were graceful, yet purposeful, their faces radiating a serene confidence. They held hands, their bond unspoken but palpable. The air around them crackled with energy as they faced the massive stones that lay scattered before the incomplete pyramid. Without a word, they raised their free hands, their eyes glowing faintly. The heavy blocks of stone lifted effortlessly into the air, aligning themselves with precision to form another layer of the pyramid. The man glanced at the woman, a faint smile on his lips. She nodded and murmured something, her voice carried on the wind like a song. And then she turned to Krystos. Her gaze pierced through him, her expression equal parts kind and stern. "Archie?" she said softly, the name striking him like lightning. "Archie?" she repeated with a warmth that felt maternal. "Do not forget, you are the bridge between what was and what will be." He tried to speak, but the dream dissolved before he could form the words. Krystos awoke with a start, the sunlight spilling into the suite through the sheer curtains. His heart was pounding and his skin was damp with sweat. For a moment he remained still, staring at the ceiling as the remnants of the dream lingered in his mind. Archie? No one had called him that since he was a child, a name only his grandmother had ever used. Sliding out of bed, he walked over to the window, letting the morning sun wash over him. Below, Cairo was already alive with movement, the streets buzzing with activity. Yet all he could think about was the dream, the pyramid, the figures, and the name. He poured himself a glass of water from the crystal, decanter on the table, and sat down in one of the plush chairs. His reflection in the glass tabletop stared back at him, as if to say, "This is only the beginning." With a deep breath, Krystos resolved to visit the pyramids again. There was something there, something waiting for him to uncover.
It's in my bloodline, yeah. I was born with